Hello collectors, and welcome to my review of the SH Figuarts Piccolo Special Colors Edition. This is the third Dragon Ball Z San Diego Comic-Con exclusive from Tamashii Nations, and this version of Piccolo is more in line with the colors in the anime. With Piccolo being an older release and the manga colors having a reissue, some are wondering if this edition of Piccolo is even worth it. Well, let's take a look and see whether or not he's worth adding into your collection. This version of Piccolo has a fantastic paint job which really brings out the sculpt. The dark green used helps to fill in the cracks in his skin. And the pinkish coloration found on the arms really stands out on the shelf. The boots look awesome, with brown as the main color of them with black to fill in the creases. Fortunately, paint slop and quality control issues are kept to a minimum on mine. Here's a great shot of Piccolo's head and chest where you can see the darker green does tremendous favors for the sculpt, and it just looks nice overall. The arms are very nice too, with even more detailings found on them. But unfortunately, right out of the box, there was a small paint chip found on the wristband on my Piccolo's left arm. On the back of Piccolo's legs, there are these two big dots, which you can really see up here on the back of the thigh, and they can be found on the ankles down here, and even on the feet. It's pretty distracting when posing, but when you have them on the shelf facing forward, you're not really going to notice it too much. From the waist down, the folds in the clothing look really nicely done, and the blue sash around his waist is an excellent touch. Overall, Piccolo looks great. Some quality control issues on mine, but it's mostly forgivable. If you want a figure with Piccolo's anime colors, this is the one to get. When it comes to articulation, Piccolo obviously has the joints. He's an SH Figuarts, but unfortunately for mine, there are some parts which are really loose, and some extreme posing really can't be achieved safely. So to begin, Piccolo's head is attached to his neck on a ball joint, and there is a double swivel or ball hinge in the neck which allows you to move the head around very easily, as you can see here. So Piccolo can definitely get a lot of movement out of his head area, but then the actual neck itself is attached to the body on a ball joint, as you can see the base of the neck moving there. Moving down to his shoulders, first impression is probably that these purple parts here, on his shoulders, they probably block the articulation. But actually, they don't at all, because they are attached to the shoulders on ball joints. So you actually can get some movement out of Piccolo's clothing. The actual shoulders are attached into the body on a ball joint, so you can get all of the movement you would expect out of a normal shoulder. And as you can see here, the shoulder itself is a swivel joint, so you can get perfect movement out of there. There's nothing that blocks it. The bicep is attached to the shoulder on a swivel, and you also get a double hinge in the arm, as you can see here. And the wrists are the same joint the neck functions on, which is that double swivel or ball hinge, as some like to call it. And the hands are attached on a ball joint, so you get perfect movement pretty much out of the arms of Piccolo. Up next, the waist. There's a ball joint, and it's very, very articulated. You can pretty much get Piccolo in any twist, turn, bend you can imagine. So you're going to have a lot of fun with that. Moving down to Piccolo's legs, the actual hip area, there is a hinge joint which allows for the pull-down style Figuarts hip joint, and the thighs are attached to the hips on ball joints. As you can see here, one for each. And on the inside there is a little piece of sculpt which allows for a swivel, which is pretty awesome. The knees, as you would expect, are on a typical double hinge, so you get a lot of movement out of those. And the ankles are ball joints, so you can get some movement, but the boots, shoe, whatever you want to technically call them, they sort of block the articulation, but not too much. The toe features a hinge, which can go down, and it can go up. Now, as I made mention earlier, for my Piccolo, there are some slight issues in terms of joint connection. For example, the ankles, they are very, very loose. The pose I had him in earlier, standing on one foot, he fell about 5 times trying to record that section. And the actual hip connection here, on the left leg, the ball joint isn't inserted all of the way, while the right one is, and I'm able to get more of a bend out of one of the legs than the other, say going up. But the issue is that Piccolo's legs aren't exactly even when standing, so that can be a bit of an issue too. And also, this shoulder pad likes to pop off on mine. So yeah, some might say it's nitpicking, but still at the same time, he's a Dragon Ball Z character, and he is supposed to take a lot of, say, action-y poses, and it's kind of sad that I actually have to accept the fact that, well, Piccolo's not going to be able to do everything that he should be able to do. But, fortunately, Mr. Piccolo, his articulation is great, and aside from the issues on mine, he's fantastically engineered. I really like fiddling around with him. In the accessories department, Piccolo comes with quite a bit. No actual effect parts, but option parts are plentiful. First up, a seemingly staple piece for all the Dragon Ball Z Figuarts releases, Piccolo comes with a folded arms piece, and as you can see here, it's relatively easy to attach to Piccolo. All you have to do is grab Piccolo's arm at the bicep that's currently attached, and at the shoulder, and slowly work the arm off at the swivel joint. Then, all you have to do is line up the pegs on the shoulder with the holes in the arm, which can be a bit difficult thanks to the purple sliding part on Piccolo's arms. Work it in the other arm, and there you go. Piccolo's folding his arms. Aside from the default fist Piccolo comes with, he comes with different hand parts too. As you can see that right here, he has very splayed out hand parts, perhaps maybe that's for a scatter shot pose. Then he has sort of splayed out hands, and then he comes with a special right hand for the special beam cannon. And switching out these hand parts onto Piccolo, it's very, very simple to do, though the soft plastic used for Piccolo may make the connection a little bit loose. You have to really try. All you have to do is just simply grab the currently attached hand, pop it off, and then take the hand you want attached and pop it onto the ball joint. Now see, upon first connection, you may think it's safe, but just push it in a little bit more because as you can see, very soft plastic, and you may only have the ball joint slightly into the socket. You really want to make sure you've got it in there. Next up, Piccolo comes with two different heads. This one here is him being angry, screaming of some kind, and looking off to the right. And this head has the same expression as his default head, along with the white turban that Piccolo is known for. And swapping out the heads, it's very easy to do. Simply grab the attached head. Be careful of the antennas, you don't want to break those off. Pop the head off. Then take your new head and attach it like so. Being careful to line up the ball joint. And there you go. Now, to go along with that turban, Piccolo comes with his cape. And as you can see here, his cape comes with an amazing green dry brushing effect. It's very, very, very cool to look at in hand. I don't think this is actually accurate to the anime, but that's alright because it looks just bitchin' in hand. And attaching this, it's really easy to do. While Piccolo's head is off, just simply take the cape and slide it right over his neck. And there you go. You have it on. But as you'll notice, this area here, it's pretty empty, and there should be another part there for the cape. You get these two frontal parts for the cape. You have one here, which is meant to be used with Piccolo's normal arms, and this one here, which is meant to be used with Piccolo's folded arms. And attaching them is really easy. You'll notice on the front of the cape there are two little nubs, and all you have to do is just line up your part with the cape and attach it like so. Now, you can also do that before you actually put the cape on Piccolo, which is just something that I suggest, but I like to do it that way. And then all you need to do is just pop Piccolo's head back on. Leg joints giving out there because of how loose it is. And there you go. Piccolo's all dressed up. So as you can see, Piccolo certainly does come with a lot, but unfortunately he doesn't come with any effect part like a special beam cannon or maybe a few energy balls for the scatter shot effect. Also, what's a bit disappointing is that the only head with emotion Piccolo comes with is this head where he's looking off to one side, angry. And really, that unfortunately prevents some interesting poses to be done because, well, if Piccolo's angry, he always has to be looking off to one side, in the Figuarts format anyway. But overall, what you get with Piccolo, it's a very solid package, and aside from a few nitpicks here and there about effect parts, and that one issue with the expression, Piccolo comes with just the right accessories. In terms of sizing, Piccolo is pretty much your average 6-inch scaled figure. For a fun size reference, here's Piccolo next to two 6-inch scaled Godzilla figures. Here's Piccolo with some Mighty Morphin Power Rangers SH Figuarts. And finally, here's Piccolo alongside some Dragon Ball Z villains. So as you can see, Piccolo, he's about as tall as you're thinking he is. On the average 6-inch scale, like I said he is. So, buy Piccolo now, skip him, or wait for a sale. Piccolo's detailing is great, and I love the paint used. He looks dead on to his anime colors. Sure, some QC issues on mine, but he's still great. Articulation is up to Bandai's standards, but again, some loose parts on mine are more than a bit unfortunate. In the accessories department, he comes with enough to have an expressive Piccolo, but sadly there are no effect parts, and facial expressions are limited. A great release overall, and those looking to get Piccolo, this one in particular, shouldn't be disappointed.